Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Now make sure y'all leave that donation for that fried rice, chicken wings, and follow me on Twitter. Now check this out. Jaron Ennis needs, now this is my opinion, right? Because that's what we do on this channel. We have conversations. I personally think with Jaron Ennis making this move to 154 to fight Virgil Ortiz, I think he needs a tune-up fight. I don't think he should come off of two, this is just my opinion, you may not agree, two unentertaining shutout wins where he shut out and basically knocked out Ennis, then came in rematch Chikadzian. Excuse me. Still getting over that damn bronchitis. It's a whole month long that I've had this shit. But coming off of two unentertaining shutout wins where he was able to stop Ennis and basically get a one-sided victory over Chikadzian. I just don't think you come off of two fights like that and bubble up to 154 pounds, jump up a weight division to face a bull like Virgil Ortiz. There's something that I think Jaron Ennis and his team, that's from Eddie Hearn, his dad, and everyone else involved, something they see in Virgil Ortiz that they feel, you know what, Virgil Ortiz is looking kind of vulnerable. When Virgil Ortiz fought Bohachuk, I think Bohachuk beat him round after round. It's just my opinion. I had it like 9-3. Then when you look at those damn knockdowns, we all know that most people would agree that fight was fixed. But it's just opinion, okay? No one knows, but I can't see how Virgil Ortiz beat Bohachuk. But at the same time, I think Virgil Ortiz and his team, from De La Hoya down, I think they look at Boots and they say, you know what, man? There's some pros to Boots, but there's a whole lot of cons. And I think they feel that those cons have been unveiled in the Ennis fight and in the rematch with Chikadzian. Nobody was talking crazy about Boots after he fought Roman Villa. When he fought Roman Villa, you want to talk about getting a win in a spectacular performance? That's what Boots did when he faced Roman Villa. But we got to be real here. Should Jaron Boots Ennis, should his stock continue to skyrocket based on his last two performances, or should his stock drop? Now, I personally think his stock has dropped, okay? But this is the real question. Is Boots Ennis regressing, or is he still that fighter that put on a spectacular performance against Chikadzian, but it's just that he needs a new attitude? Because he's like Shine. I just watched the Shine documentary on Hulu, where Shine was messing with Brandy, the R&B singer, female, Ray J's sister. And she had to tell him, you've done nothing. You haven't even made a hit song, but you think you are something that you're not. And that humbled Shine Barrows. Now he's in Belize as a politician. And I think it's the same thing there with Boots Ennis. My man, you've done nothing. And you think you a superstar. Yeah, he got an IBF strap, but I mean, you know, the way politics and boxing works, he got that shit mailed to him. He didn't beat nobody for it. Yeah, look, forget what he wanted to do and what he tried to do. Let's just stick to the facts. Like De La Hoya. He didn't fight nobody for it, okay? So he had a belt given to him. Forget about the politics of boxing. And he's done nothing. 33 fights. I like Boots. what I'm doing is just having a conversation, a little bit of devil's advocate, right? He's done nothing. So what are we talking about where we're still saying Jaron Boots Ennis is the most exciting fighter in boxing? Jaron Boots Ennis is the fighter who can become undisputed at 147, 154, 160 right now if he chooses to. Let me tell you something. Not with that attitude, because he hasn't done anything. And the thing is this: is he still that great fighter who fought Roman Villa, or is? And if he is, why hasn't he shown it against Evanescence and Chikazian? And maybe it's because of the attitude, thinking that he's something that he isn't yet because he's not battle tested. Now I think Jaron Boots Ennis still has all those skills. I just think he doesn't listen to his corner. That's what I think. I don't think he listens to his corner. I think he's more focused on trying to entertain the crowd, trying to look cool. You know what I'm saying? I said this in other videos. When we were growing up, we used to play a lot of basketball. We played all sports, but we played basketball. And you always have those couple fools get on the basketball court. They start doing all this fancy dribbling shit and all this and can't goddamn score. But they look spectacular with all this fancy dribbling and all this footwork and all this bullshit. And goddamn, they can't score for shit. Don't let them shoot the ball. That shit going over the backboard, you know what I mean? Horrible. And I think Boots Ennis has a lot of that in him. He likes, we call it look good missing when they're playing basketball. I think Jaron Boots Ennis likes to look good, but really not put on the performance that the fans expect of him, which is to get in there and knock everybody out, which you can't do that. But against Chikazian and against Evanescence, I think those fights could have gone a little differently. Gotta excuse me, this goddamn cold, man. A whole month. I need to go to the emergency room. But goddamn. I feel he should have knocked him out. But he didn't do it. But I just don't think as many people were convinced about Boots in his future as being like the guy to take the sport of boxing into the next, 5-10 years. When, he had guys like Sugar Ray Leonard retired. You had guys like Roy Jones come around. He retired. You had the guys like De La Hoya, Mayweather. You had a lot of different guys who come up, and they're able to transcend the sport and take it to the next level. The Canelos, Crawford in a sense, Earl Spence in a sense. But right now, they're looking at it, and they're saying, okay, Boots is that guy. But I think slowly but surely people are starting to kind of step away from that, I would say, prediction. If there's anyone out here who can take the sport of boxing to the next level, it's going to be Boots. I think people are starting to step away from that because to me, he hasn't proved that in his last couple of fights. But I think Boots needs to listen to his dad. We know he gets in there. He's admitted, now these aren't my words, that he likes to fight. He likes getting hit. That is utter madness. Can't be in there getting hit and getting comfortable with that because you're fighting less than stellar opposition. However, now you're about to get in there and fight Virgil Ortiz. That shit's going to backfire on Jaron Boots Ennis. I know he's a dog. I know they spar hard in Philly. I understand all that. But you can't come into the ring with the mentality of, I'm okay with being hit so I can get mine off. And we're just going to basically see who can endure the pain. And I expect to be the last man standing. That's not how this shit should work. Got to listen to his father. You can see his dad was frustrated with him because Boots wasn't listening. But I don't know. You out here winning every round, virtually. But you got your corner and your team from the first row screaming at you. to make the fight easier, to not make the fight so hard, to not get hit so much. That tells me that there's a little bit of trouble in paradise. And you know what, to be honest with you, the more I think about it, Eddie Hearn not putting up the money for unifications at 147 with Boots, maybe that's because Eddie Hearn isn't so sure Jaron Boots Ennis will get in the ring and have the discipline to do the business against Barrios, against Stan Eunice, against Norman Jr. Maybe deep down Eddie Hearn is looking at the dynamics and saying, this boy doesn't listen to his dad. This boy thinks he's something that he's not. Eddie Hearn's not dumb. If Jaron Boots Ennis wasn't Eddie Hearn's fighter, he would say he's a good fighter, but but Ennis has done nothing. You know what I'm saying? He said he's a great fighter, but he's done nothing. That's what Eddie Hearn would say. But he's got him on his team, so he's not going to come out and say that. But you better believe it's going to show in his decision-making and the matchmaking when it comes to Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, that's just me on the outside looking in. But anyway, let's see what happens. Because they're talking about Boots fighting Ortiz, and basically that if he beats him, that'll be like a tune-up fight, and then go straight into Terrence Crawford. And I'm just going to tell you this right here. I just don't have any faith in Jaron Boots Ennis beating Terrence Crawford. I'm going to tell you that shit right now. You can't come in the ring and be okay with getting hit with your hands down and all that. If Crawford hits him, he will knock him out. Very simple, man. If Crawford catches him, he will knock him out. And Eddie Hearn knows that. Now, they'll use Crawford's name. They'll throw his name out there because Crawford's the big dog. But Eddie Hearn knows that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Eddie Hearn, when he comes out and he says shit like, when you talk about these elite guys like Jaron Boots Ennis, they fight down a level sometimes. And as a result, maybe they can't get excited and turn the switches on when they're fighting guys who aren't elite. There's no fear factor, so they just go in there and do what they want and have fun. You know, when I hear Eddie Hearn say that, that sounds to me like a cop-out, like an excuse. Talking about they're not really excited about the fight and not excited about the opponent, so why give 100% when they know they can give 20, 30% and still get the victory? Fans don't like it, but that's kind of how some fighters' minds work. I'm like, yo, Eddie Hearn, if you're a fighter and you're getting in the ring and you're on record saying, we put our lives on the line, you can die in the ring, how could you not always get yourself up for a fight knowing the person you get in the ring with is trying to basically inflict as much pain as possible to where you don't want to continue or you're knocked out cold? Basically trying to kill you. Get you as close as death as possible to where you either go the whole distance and get nearly the life beat out of you, or you take so much pain you quit, or you get knocked out cold. That's basically what it is. But we'll see if we see a better Boots against elite opposition. I will tell you this. I do think when you're up against someone, and you know this person here is a much better fighter than these other guys I fought, I do think that the spidey senses go off and shit like that, and you focus more. Because it's like me going out here when I used to play basketball with my son who's 14 now, and he was like 8. I'd be out there playing around with that dude. He's 14 now, and he's played basketball his whole life. It ain't like that no more. I went out there playing around with him yesterday. That little motherfucker, man, he's a whole nother level. Now, he ain't that 8-year-old. I put it to you that way. That motherfucker's twitchy and fast as hell. And he's getting strong. His body's building up. You know, we were lifting weights and working out yesterday. See his body building up. So he becoming a little man now. But so when I go out there to play basketball with him now, oh yeah, I gotta be turned on because I'm like, yo, this ain't the same. And I think it's kind of like that with Boots and fighting Evanescence and fighting guys like Chikazi and, you know, solid, but you can kind of go in there and play around. He getting there with Virgil Ortiz. That's like going from playing basketball with my 8-year-old son to now he's 14 and playing with him. Like, you can't fuck around with this guy. And so I think he'll be turned on. Turned on. No, did he? He'll be switched on. But still, at the same time, I think he got to be careful. Can't come in there, especially because Virgil Ortiz is going to hit him. And then start showboating and sticking his tongue out his mouth and trying to look cool, getting his ass clipped. Don't do that. Stay focused. Listen to your father. And some people think Boots Ennis needs a new trainer. They think he needs to get rid of his dad. You know, I would never say get rid of your father, but I'll say listen to him. But, you know, even though I don't really care for Teofimo Lopez, I think what he did was smart, which is to finally, you know, after getting rid of Joey Gamache, which was dumb, to bring someone else in to help the team, Eddie Reynoso, because his dad wasn't enough. I still think Eddie Reynoso ain't the guy for him. I think Joey Gamache is the guy for Teofimo because there's proven success there. But anyway, good luck to Jaron Boots Ennis. I'm just sitting here having a conversation. But I do think he needs a tune-up before he jumps up to fight a guy like Virgil Ortiz. Because Boots isn't just, I should save this for another video. Boots isn't just fighting Virgil Ortiz, the guy who had rhabdomyolysis. That motherfucker is fighting Virgil Ortiz, Robert Garcia, whatever tricks Robert Garcia has learned and knows about, whatever little shit he knows they can get away with, as far as supplementation, as far as preparation, whatever little tricks they know when it comes to gloves and manipulating gloves. Robert Garcia has been around boxing for a while. Let me tell y'all something. There's a reason why his fighters win. Because of the training, supplementation, because of the diet, because of whatever little corners they know they can cut and get away with, man. That's not illegal, but it's goddamn, walking a very, very thin line. Robert Garcia, Jaron Boots Ennis is in a tough fight. He's in a tough-ass fight, people. Don't get me wrong. I thought Virgil Ortiz lost to Bohachuk, but I understand. How did Virgil Ortiz... I'll just say this, right? For those of you that say, Boots doesn't need a tune-up, man. He a hood champ, man. Listen, McNicholas. How did Virgil Ortiz come back and fight? Come back, right, to the sport at 154. First fight, get a first-round knockout. Well, they stopped the fight anyway. It was bullshit. He didn't look that great. Come back in his second fight, stop Delorme with a body shot where he didn't look that great, okay? And then come in against Bohachuk and look like a machine, even though I thought he lost. Where did that come from? You have 2 fights at 154, 2 total rounds, and you're getting there with a machine like Bohachuk, and you're able to push through from the first second of the first round to the last second of the last round, even though I thought he lost. How was he able to do that? If you know, you tell me. So I say all that to say this. Jaron Boots Ennis, he better be ready. And if he needs a tune-up fight, he should take it. If not, he better be doing tune-upping in the gym. And he better check his attitude. Because reality will come to him real quick. Even though I don't think Virgil Ortiz is the guy he was at 147, he still showed me against Bohachuk that he has more than enough to beat a guy who isn't prepared and doesn't have the right attitude in the breeze.